Well, staying home, being cooped up all together, added stress, the pandemic has had an effect on family life.
Here to talk about it from Herling Clark Law Firm is Adam Bernander. Good morning.
Good morning, Adam.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Did it have a noticeable impact on things like divorces and even family conflicts?
It certainly did. I think that originally people were making jokes about it causing divorces, and I don't actually think that the divorce rate went up, but I do think what happened was it just created a new issue for people, especially people who were already divorced, living in separate households, but kids were going back and forth. Everybody's got a different idea of what's an acceptable risk. Those might be different in two separate households, so that was just a new thing that nobody had ever had to deal with before. So that was certainly something that the pandemic created.
Let's talk about your approach and how you work with an individual when it comes to wanting a divorce.
It's individualized. So it's hard to even say what a typical conversation would be. Really, the beginning is me saying, why don't you just start from the beginning and explain to me what's going on and why you're here talking to me today. And it really goes from there. But I think that the focus really has to be on personality and what they need from me, not the other way around. So.
Certainly counselor and lawyer, two different functions, but do you ever find yourself having an evolving conversation? Maybe someone realizes divorce isn't actually what they want?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And the interesting thing is that I've actually had some cases where the people come and talk to me, and we're talking through the legal ramifications and maybe financial ramifications and other things that are going to be the natural result of the divorce. And people realize after talking to me for 45 minutes or an hour, you know what, maybe I want to have another conversation with my partner and see if this is the path I want to go.
So if someone feels like they're in a situation where divorce might be an option that they want to pursue, what should they do?
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, first of all, I think everybody's best resource is family and friends. So I think that you need to have those conversations first and make sure that you understand and that you're ready to move forward, because it's a huge step. Once they do decide to move forward, I think it's important to talk to an attorney, talk to a knowledgeable attorney, and more specifically, one who focuses specifically on divorce law, because there are some people who do a little bit of a lot of things, but not anything too specific. So, yeah. So.
If someone's needs have changed, can your team also help them with that? Say they were divorced several years ago, but now their family situation has evolved. Can you help make modifications?
Yes, that's at least half of what I do.
Oh, okay. And talk about the benefits of the team approach from Herling Clark when it comes to family law.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 attorneys, including myself, who are specifically dedicated to only doing family law. And we've got one person there who's been doing it for many decades. So we've got a wealth of knowledge there, and we're always bouncing things off of each other and really trying to make sure we're doing the best thing we can for our clients.
And family law obviously would include more situations than divorce, right?
Yes.
What other kinds of situations do you cover?
So initial divorces, like you said, and then we'd also do if people have been divorced for 5 years and something has changed. One of them wants to move to a different town. They don't agree where their kids are going to go to school anymore, or if one of them gets a different job making more or less money, that's going to affect things like child support and maintenance. So all of those things.
Okay. Well, you will find Herling Clark offices in Appleton, Green Bay, and Oshkosh. They also serve many of our surrounding communities.
You can reach them at 920-739-7366 or herlingclark.com. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, guys.